Hello, everyone. Good to be here tonight. This is actually my first time doing stand-up. And before I moved to LA, I actually lived in New York for a little while. That's why I don't listen, as Tom says. So, have any of you lived in New York before?
Yeah.
A few. That's what's up. And for those of you who haven't, just imagine paying these same crazy LA rents, but you're getting a shoebox. Well, really, that's kind of being generous. It's more like a matchbox size. And I'd say that you're living in a glorified closet, but the kicker is most New York apartments are so small, they don't even have closets. The people who live in New York, they know, okay? You have to buy a portable closet to put in your room. And if it's too small, you just have to live in the closet. Which is why the city of New York fought so hard to make it safe to get out of the closet. See, it wasn't even just about gay rights. We just wanted bigger apartments. Now, the thing that I don't love about New York, besides living in the closet, are the people you live in the closet with. Now, was that just me, or did that sound like a gay love story?
Yeah.
Or maybe like, right? I heard that. Or like maybe an alternative name for Friends. But I think Friends probably went over better because the country was less progressive at the time. Current administration excluded. So, the person I lived in my New York closet with was Agnes. She had begged me to move to New York. It's so amazing. There's such great opportunities. And once you cross the bridge and come into the city, it's magical. And I like magic and pizza and the accent. So after months of Agnes's begging, I packed up my bags and I moved to New York. I thought we'd have a great time. She would be a great roommate. She seemed really cool for like a tiny 80-year-old Jewish lady. But I guess living in New York just makes you cool. When I got there, I found out Agnes had so many rules. And not just rules either. Like, she also had this kind of crazy thing where she thought that when you flush the toilet and you let go of the handle, it's like pulling a pin out of a grenade. And all of the microscopic shit in the toilet just explodes over the entire bathroom. But it's microscopic, so I couldn't see it, but Agnes knew it was there. But it explodes unless, according to Agnes, you close the lid first. Because Agnes knew that the lid of the toilet was basically a magical force field that kept all of the microscopic shit particles inside the toilet. Just forget the fact that we all know the toilet seat only actually touches the bowl in two tiny little places and the rest is just a gaping hole. Because that didn't matter to Agnes. She was really obsessed with making sure this toilet lid was closed. So obsessed that when I was using the toilet, she would barge in on me. Yep, just to check and make sure the lid was closed. And she was my landlord. So I just shat in shame. And Agnes did this every single time I used the toilet. Because she had to check the lid. So one time When Agnes barged in, I felt powerless as I sat in shame, and I said, you know what? I plotted my passive-aggressive revenge against the reign of Agnes's tyranny. Because I was paying good money to live in a closet-sized apartment. I was not going to accept her every abuse. Agnes told me to never eat in my room. So, you can barge in and make me shit in shame, but you will not take away my freedom to eat where I want when you're not around. So one day, when Agnes wasn't home, I got one of those giant, delicious New York pizzas. I wasn't being a total badass though, I had help. My mom was with me, and we planned together in an act of rebellion to eat this pizza in my room while watching television, which Agnes didn't like either. Unfortunately, I forgot that I left my window ever so slightly open. And that slight opening was the crack in my plots for revenge. The second I opened up that pizza box, a giant cockroach flew in the window, landed on the pizza box. I screamed and dropped the pizza, slammed the door behind me. And I knew it was a Brooklyn cockroach too, because I heard him plotting on the other side of that door. He sounded like JC. He said, "We the Roach Boys of the year, pizza's on the house." So this cockroach thinks he's so gangster that he's not only trying to steal my pizza, he's inviting all of his friends to come partake as if he's the baller who bought it himself. Balls in Brooklyn Roach, probably from the projects. But he don't know I'm gangster too. And that little scream I let out earlier was not a scream of fear. I was just calling my reinforcements. So my mommy was using the restroom, but I knew she'd help because she's a gangster too. And I didn't barge in while she was using the restroom because I let people shit in peace. I'm practically a saint. Which is why my plot for passive-aggressive revenge against Agnes was not going to be thwarted by some gangster cockroach. Wanna be JC? So I spotted some of Agnes's flip-flops, and I gathered them in preparation for our coming mission. When my mom got out of the bathroom, I told her there was some gangster cockroaches plotting on us on the other side of that door. But you know what? We made a plan of our own. I opened up that door, and I didn't see any cockroaches anywhere. So I opened up that pizza box, and they just ambushed me. 2 cockroaches flew up, met midair, and brushed against my neck. Now, I had the very normal response when cockroaches brush against your neck. Pimp down! Pimp down! So our fate, and the fate of really everyone who didn't want cockroach overlords, was now resting with my mom. Armed with Agnes's flip-flops, she threw them like daggers. She was knocking them out one by one, just like Laura Croft. But that wannabe Jay-Z cockroach, he waited until the bitter end, when she was all out of flip-flops flip-flops. He took a good lick of the grease off of that pizza, and he grew like something in Alice in Wonderland. He was face to face with my mom, and they were just boxing, going at it, tit for tat, until he slipped in some of that pizza grease. My mom took that opening, gave him a good uppercut to the face, swept his legs out from under him, and put him on the ground. Because once they're on their backs, they're pretty much helpless. And that's wannabe Jay-Z. He turned into Kevin Hart. And he was like, yeah. So I got up off of my gangster position on the floor, and I squashed little Kevin with my hand. Because you're not a New Yorker until the day you kill a roach with your bare hands. It's the truth. The New Yorkers know it. So it was official. We were victorious. Wakanda forever. But then I heard Agnes walking up the steps. So I threw that pizza out the window, put all of Agnes's flip-flops back. But all of that roach drama really got my colon moving. So I had to go to the restroom. And while I was sitting on the throne, Agnes started yelling, "You were eating pizza in your room?" How did she know? Then she opens up the bathroom door and hurls her flip-flops at me. How rude. They still have cockroaches on the bottoms. So as their wings brush against my neck, I completely freak out. And I had diarrhea. So it's just flying everywhere. That, of course, was the night that Agnes evicted me. And she was right, my shit kills. She died of cancer the very next day. She knew about those germs. Shit happens. Thank you guys, I'm Michelle.